Yo, is it true that you named one of your dad's boats Free Throw?
Nah, I just made that for you. That was for
Welcome to At the Buzzer, the official NBA podcast on Clutch Points, streaming everywhere where you consume ball. I'm with my guy Dennis, and today joining us, he was born 11 days into the 2000s, grew up, played ball in Los Angeles, played for UCLA, played for LSU, plays in the G League today, played in the Jordan Brand Classic game. Oh, and, you know, his dad happens to be the most dominant player in NBA history. Welcome to At the Buzzer, Shareef O'Neal.
what's going on. That sounds like a good resume.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. If you met someone who has no idea who your dad is, who has no idea who you are, and you had to describe yourself to that person, how would you describe yourself?
All right, so this happened to me a few times in life, and the way I've done it, I'd be like, you ever seen... I just always try to go like to a commercial or a movie he was in. Like, I think the last one, the lady, she's like, I don't recognize it. And I was like, have you ever seen Grown Ups or Grown Ups 2? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, you know the really tall cop dude, like he's big, dark skin. She's like, oh yeah, he's a funny character. I'm like, that's my dad. Oh, but I try to tell her that like he was a famous NBA player. And like he DJs all that now. But that's just how I do it. Like if I have to explain to someone who my dad is without them knowing, I just try to go off a commercial that they might have seen or a movie or just something like that. It usually works like that though.
What about you? What if you were just talking about yourself? How would you describe yourself?
Well, I don't mention if people don't know who I am, I don't mention it at all. Like, I don't never tell them. They just got to find out when they find out. So I just tell them who I am.
Well, to get to know Shareef, you kind of have to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been 6 years since 2018. 2018 was a hell of a year for you, mostly a lot of hell. You were coming out of high school, you were committed to college, and then in between, you found out you had a congenital heart defect, and you had to have open heart surgery.
That year was super cool at the beginning, and towards the end of the year, like around the holidays, I love the holidays, but that's when it started to get bad. Like, I remember at the beginning of the year, I just turned 18, won state championship, did a Jordan Brand Classic, what else? Was going to UCLA. This is all in the beginning of the year. And then I would say about 2 months into me working out at UCLA, that's when they found the problem. And they really only found it because the trainer, Shane, he seen my medical records. And it was something when I lived in Miami, I had went to the hospital to do with my heart. And he didn't like how it looked. He made me wear a heart monitor. And like me being a freshman at school, I wasn't trying to wear a heart monitor. Like, you know, there's girls around, there's all this stuff. Like, it's a big heart monitor. I'm like, I'm taking it off. And
You're 18, you're not doing this.
yeah, and then one day he saw me on campus and he's like, oh, Shareef, what's up? And then he's just talking to me and he puts his hand on my chest, just like, test me if I took it off. He's like, if you don't wear it, I'm not going to clear you. So then I was like, all right. So then I wear it. And then when I was in practice, I did feel a little like, it did feel weird. And they said if you feel anything that doesn't feel normal, press it. I was in practice. I never had a feeling like this before. I didn't feel like I was going to pass out. I was just like, my heart just kind of took one giant beat and it like stopped for a second and then it did it again. But I felt it. Wow. But I was still moving. I'm just like, oh shit. And I just pressed the button. And I'd say about 2 days later, I get a call. It's probably like 6 or 7. The trainer calls me. He's like, can you come to school real quick? And then I get to school and he's like, I'm going to need you to get your mom over here. My mom is not even in LA. She gets on the first flight back.
Wow.
And I still don't know what's going on. Like, he's just like, I need your mom to be here. And I never thought like it was gonna be something like that. I just was like, maybe my mom needs to sign something. He's like, I need you to get your dad on the phone. And then my dad gets on the phone. He walks us over to the athletic building, and then we go in the room, and it's like a whole giant oval table. Looks like some evil doctor type stuff. Like they all have on white coats.
Damn.
Bunch of doctors, and then it's like a.
You in the lab now.
Yeah, I'm like in the lab, and it's a screen down. It just has a picture of a heart, and honestly, that was when I kind of blanked out, and I just put my head down. I had my ears covered. I didn't want to hear anything they were saying, honestly. I just was like, so I really don't know what was said in that whole hour and a half of being in there. I was kind of just crying, ears covered, hoodie on. Like, I really didn't want to listen to anything. It was a weird situation with my condition because they told me that there's a lot of people in the world that have it, and you know they live till they're 100, 110 years old. Like nothing may ever happen. So they're like, you could possibly play basketball for the rest of your life. You know, stay on the the road you're on, and you could be fine. But they're like, there could be that one day where it happens. So at first, I'm like, I'm not getting no open heart surgery. I was like, I might have just thug it out. Like, I've been doing this for 18 years. Like, they said I was born with this, and like, nothing's happened so far.
Yeah.
But when I got home that night, I was like, if I go to practice tomorrow and that's the day, like, that's going to be the most tragic thing in the world. So I really had to think about how everybody else would feel. And, like, I was like, I can't really I can't tell my mom and dad that I don't want the surgery. Because when I said that, they were like, whatever you want to do, we want you to be happy. So I was like, I'm not getting no surgery. I've never had surgery before. But if I didn't think to myself that night, like, if I go practice tomorrow and it happens in front of everybody after they just told me, not saying that it would have, but, they said one day it could happen. So I never knew what day it was. So then I just told my trainer, I'm like, I'm about to get that surgery. So.
Wow.
That's a big decision, bro.
Yeah, 18 years old, you decided to get open heart surgery.
Yeah, I really didn't want to, but I was like, it's either live in fear my whole life, because even if I would have quit basketball back then and not got that surgery, anything that would have got my heart rate up would have made it.
It's crazy because, like, I feel like, when you were going into that little meeting with the doctors and stuff, I feel like you already anticipated something bad,
Yeah, I just didn't know it was going to be that.
Exactly.
Because the last time I heard about something with my heart was in like 2005 or 2006, and my mom had made me get a special physical every year for my heart, and I was getting cleared from ages 6 to 18. So my whole life I'm like, whatever heart thing I was dealing with is over with. But after that, and I decided to get the surgery, I said I'll do it in 2 months, because they were like, you can either do it right now, and I was like, who's your favorite player? And I was like, LeBron James. He's like, well, I'm LeBron James of heart surgery. That's the only thing he really said. And I was like, shit. I was like, that's crazy confidence. That's crazy. And my dad, when he said that, my dad was just like, yo, it's the guy. He's the guy. I was like, sign him. That's a crazy thing to say. Like, you have people's lives that year.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the best heart surgeon in the West Coast. So.
I would have felt safe too.
Damn.
Dude too, he's a real cool dude, real solid dude. So I just went in there, and after my finals, I finished my last final. That's when it really kind of kicked in. Once I was in my finals, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't focus at all, because my finals was a week before, and they everyone at school knew how to get surgery, so they let me take my finals in a room by myself. So it was more calm. I didn't have to be in the auditorium with everyone. But once I closed that last little packet or did whatever in that last final, and I turned it in, and I kind of walked outside, I was like, yo, I gotta get surgery in a few days. And that's when it kicked in. I'm like, damn, this 2 months just flew.
Damn.
So.
Dang. When you think back in this whole thing, you close your eyes, what's the most vivid memory from the whole ordeal? Was it something that happened before? Was it something that happened after? When you just imagine it, what's the most vivid memory you have from the whole experience?
20 to 30 minutes before I went under, it's probably not gonna lie, I've never felt like that in my life. It was a weird, I wasn't scared. It's just I knew I couldn't do nothing, but I was like, I'm already here.
Yeah.
I gotta go through it. I didn't know what to feel. It was kind of like a defeated feeling. I was like, shit, if something happens,
you're vulnerable, right? There's nothing you can do.
They kind of tricked me well, because they knew I was scared. I was they were like, okay, we're gonna do this. And I'm like, can I go to the bathroom? I'm in there locking the door. I'm gonna sit in there for as long as I can, trying to stall, trying to move all slow so they have to do it. And then they're like, okay, your surgery's at this time. It's really 4 o'clock in the morning. Your surgery's at this time. You want to play VR, some virtual reality while we wait? Because I thought I'd wait 6 hours. And they tricked me, because the surgery was really in 10 minutes.
Wow.
So I put the VR on. It's this little basketball game where I got to move my head and try to catch the basketball. And then I feel the little needle go in, still playing. And then I'm out. Yeah, so
wow.
I just remember kind of going out, falling out, and then it sounds like a movie, but they put me on cold ass table, and I see the light.
Yeah.
And then I just wake up, and it was all over. It was really like a movie, but that's probably the part I remember. I just that 10 minutes before.
That's literally just like the movies.
It sounds like you were pretty calm in that moment. They tricked you into it, but hey.
I was very calm. I think it wasn't a calm, I was ready. I think I just felt
accepting?
Yeah, I was like, whatever happens is this is how my life is gonna carry out. I just kind of. And it was weird, because they have to kind of tell you whatever they do before the surgery. And I happened to hear this one part after me not listening to everything. They're like, It's like they had like a certain amount of time to transfer my blood to be pumped on a certain, like, they had a certain amount of time for my blood to be pumped through a machine. And like, I know if they didn't get it in that certain amount of time, like it was just, so that's the only part I heard. So that's really all I thought about.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, I just hope they get me on this machine.
I gotta pump this blood right here. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was crazy though.
You in that moment after the surgery shared a moment with your dad, and in this story you said that your dad in that moment gave you the best advice he's ever given you.
I want to say this was like after I woke up, I was still kind of dazed, crying a little bit, and then this is when my whole family was in there, and then there was times it'd be like, you know, just my brother, just my mom. There was one time it was just my dad. He's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you still want to play basketball? He's like, me and your mom, we never forced you to play basketball. We're just glad you're here. We're glad you're safe. And I was like, I still want to play basketball. That's why I got the surgery. And he's like, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna say it one time, and you'll remember it for the rest of your life. He's like, if you come back from this, he's like, you'll be the baddest. I don't want to cuss on here, but the baddest MFer alive. And he said it one time, and then he walked away. And then I just like, and when he said it, I was still off the medication. I'm just like this, but right when I got back to like, when I got off the medication, I kind of thought, I'm like, literally, he's right. If I come back from this and play at a high level, the amount of respect I have from people, and like this, like I don't know, the fight that I could show that I have is unmatched. So that was a huge goal of mine.
Wow.
And that was really like the pickup on why I really was like, I need to get back to basketball. I would say that, and then there was also, I want to say I was the oldest kid in that children's hospital. I was 18. It's a bunch of kids in there that's going on 5 or 6 heart surgeries, and the kids are in there like, they see me have one, and they're like, why are you crying? Like, I'm 6 years old. I'm on my 5th heart surgery. Like, he's like, why are you in here crying? You have all these tattoos. You're 6'8", 6'9". He's like, you're like, the kid was really like kind of roasting me. He's like, why are you crying? And I was like, damn, this kid just punked me for real. And this kid was like, I'm gonna grow up be a firefighter and a professional soccer player. And he was just saying that he had all these surgeries, and I'm like, yo, if this kid's that confident, like, yo, I'm about to get out this shit and go get what I gotta get. So I
mean, he was saying some real shit, but honestly, open heart surgery is no small thing, you know.
That kid made me like, that was one of the times where I really was like,
you're like, all right, let me.
I can't let this kid win.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, they have like obviously like the knee injuries, Achilles, and all that, but like I don't really hear a lot of people come in like playing at a really high level after like open heart surgery that often. You know,
and that was, I want to say that's another scary part was coming back, because there was that happened in 2018. I want to say till like 2023 was something I thought about. Like literally, last year, like. There would be every day or every time I play basketball, I'd always think like, damn, like what if something happens, or what if I'm not as healthy as I.
Was open heart surgery or the whole rehab process, was it physically harder or was it mentally harder?
It was for sure mentally harder. Like, it's just I'll say some things on how it's mentally hard. Like, I went into that surgery at like 223. When I got out, I was like 174.
Damn.
Wow.
Like, you can like imagine being a high level athlete, strong. I'm doing freshman year like summer workouts at a college. Like, you're lifting. Yeah. I was getting big, and I come out and I see my ribs and like
wow.
Arm, and I'm like, my face is all skinny. I'm like, damn. And like they're like, yeah, you can't carry over 9 pounds for like 7 months or something. So like I couldn't lift. I couldn't even move. I couldn't even cough without it hurting. So like every little thing that you're used to doing that you might like take for granted in life, like even sneezing or like, I tried to be tough and go back to school right after. UCLA is all uphill. Like, I would be in the practice facility checking in with the trainer, and by the time I walk to class, I'm 30 minutes late because I'm walking so slow. I'm fully drenched in sweat. Like, it was one time I was in class, I'm just like just sleep because I'm off the medication, and one of my teachers like, you don't need to be here. Like, we understand that you want to learn, that you want to be here, like, to do all this, but they're like, you're not okay. So then I started going home and really, like, locking in, spending time with my family, and I just was sitting in my room for months and months, just waiting for my sternum to heal, and that's when I really just started playing video games. I lift anything. I couldn't even carry my backpack. I had teammates helping me carry my backpacks to class. So
Damn.
I'm like, let me find something that's not 9 pounds that I can just sit here and it'll take me away from doing something physical. So I started playing video games, messing around on the computer and doing all types of stuff like that. But yeah, it was more mentally harder because you're just not used to being that like limited to doing stuff.
So going from a college basketball player to not being able to lift 9 pounds is insane.
Literally, yeah. I feel like it kind of like humbled you, right? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Like I was, especially I want to say the weight part humbled me because I was always a skinny dude, but that was the first time I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting a little big, like I'm growing up. And it went back down to like 170, and I'm like, damn.
But you got good genes, man. You're gonna put it all back.
Yeah, I like at the time I was like, bro, I'm done for it. Like I was like, and then honestly, I would just say I just started getting hella tattoos during my recovery time. Like I always wanted tattoos, but I want to say if I would have never got heart surgery, I don't think I'd have as many tattoos. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like cause it's just
the struggle inspired you.
Yeah, and I had so much downtime to where like, and I'm not one of those people who likes pain. Tattoos hurt, but I like art, and the amount of pain I was in, like doing breathing and doing regular stuff, like wasn't even comparable to tattoos. So I was like, oh, while I'm already hurting, let me just get some tattoos to get out the way so I'm not hurting as bad.
Distract you.
Yeah, I was like, so I'm not hurting as bad.
Damn.
Last year, the world saw DeMar Hamlin suffer cardiac arrest. We all heard about Bronny, right? Whenever people hear about these things or see these things, everyone holds their breath. What do you think about in these moments as somebody who's gone through what you've been through and has that perspective and has literally lived in some of those even a crazier extent?
I saw it right away, but I didn't really know what it was. I just kind of saw DeMar get hit, and then he kind of, next time I looked at him, he was on the floor. And then when they showed the replay and they just kept showing it, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't play the next day. I was like, wow. I didn't play the next day. I just like, they kept showing it, and I was kind of like, everybody kind of see on my face, they're like, oh, like, Shareef's for sure triggered right now. I wasn't really triggered. I'm just like, it was just a weird moment. It's just like a weird feeling for me, man. I didn't really feel comfortable playing that day. I don't know. That was a feeling I can't explain either, just seeing it up close. And then especially when it happened to Bronny, that was more like, that was more closer to home for me because, like, I was a freshman. I just happened to be at the rival school. Like, it was like literally the same thing, but Bronny's was, something actually happened to him, and mine, they found it at first, and I was just like, man, this one's too close to home because Bronny's one of my little brother's best friends. Like, I've known him since he was super cool. LeBron's my favorite player. He's known us since we were kids. Like, it's just that one was really close to home, but the biggest thing for me and them is that they're here today and able to share the story, and this is a real thing that people go through. Yeah. And I think people are gonna have to wake up one day and realize that heart health is super, super important. But me and DeMar are now 2 ambassadors for American Heart Association, so I became close with DeMar after the whole thing. We hung out. That's my guy now. And then Bronny's has always been like one of my little bros. Just hung out with him. Whenever I see him, it's all love. So I'm just glad that they're here today, and that's what's most important for me.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Sounds like when you came out of surgery, you lost all that weight. A lot of it was just getting through it, dealing with the pain, passing the time, getting tattoos. When you were starting to get back on, when you were starting to go through the rehab process, put the weight back on, train to play at UCLA again, what was a typical day of that rehab like for you? Like obviously it must have been harder, but did you have to do different things? Like, what was the approach? And like, what, if you can walk us through, like, what was like a typical day like when in the rehab process and getting back to becoming a college basketball player?
The recovery started off at home with me and my mom. Like, the doctor would be like, Shawnee, take Shareef on a 5-minute walk today. Do 7 minutes tomorrow. Take a day off. Do 10 minutes the next day. So, spent months just walking. My mom, she was on, come on, let's go walk. You're not in school. You're not doing shit. Let's go walk. Get off the game. We're going to go walk and talk. It was cool, but it did take me months and months to get back to being myself and even gain a little bit of that weight.
How long did it take before you were able to dunk again?
I dunked the first day. I'm not going to it was a very weak dunk, though, but I was like, let me just make sure I
Yeah.
Wait, Shareef, how much do you weigh now?
228 as of earlier today, I want to say.
Okay.
So you're even higher than you were before the surgery.
Yeah, I'm still a little skinny dude though, but
you're getting there.
I'm getting there.
More like mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Open heart surgery is hard. doing it right before you're about to go into college basketball is pretty crazy. Yeah. But your obstacles didn't stop there. You know, you redshirted first year. You then suffered a stress fracture in your foot that took you out of games across 2 different seasons.
So at UCLA, when I lost all that weight, the coach who recruited me, he ended up not being there the year I came back. So it was a different guy. And I was coming off of heart surgery. And me, like, you know, I never knew how college basketball worked because I hadn't played before. So I came in, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to play this year. Like, and I was not ready to play at all. And I don't think I understood that with the coach. Like, he was a high-level coach. Mick Cronin's a super high-level coach. Had been to the Final Fours, all that. So he knew I wasn't ready. But me, just coming off my surgery, I was just like, so excited to be back and able to play. But if I could have took 2 years off from that surgery, I think I would have. If I could go back, I would have took 2 years off instead of 1.
Wow.
Because I had came back and went straight to the Drew League, and the Drew League is really good basketball, but it's more freedom. Like, that's not how I'm gonna play in college or in the pros. Like, I can do whatever I want in the Drew League because it's just like pick up basketball. So me getting back to college basketball where it's more organized, I wasn't ready for that at all. So, you know, I was sitting on the bench. I was okay with that. But then, you know, me being in my own head, I'm like, let me go somewhere else where I can start over. It's already COVID is happening. Like, the season's over. I'm like, let me just go to LSU. And in Louisiana, we eat good over there. So, you know, I was getting pretty big. I got up to like I was probably like 10 or 12 pounds heavier, like 240. Yeah. That's when I was probably the heaviest I've been. And then that's when I fractured my foot the first time. I think I wasn't used to that. Yeah. And then it happened at the end of the year. I came back, like during the summer I was working out. And then right before the season again, I fractured the same foot. Wow. Dang. And then I was like, let me just go back to my little 220, 225 and just – because now I know where I'm going to be. I can't be too skinny, can't be too big. Because I was looking nice, but, you know, I think I was too heavy, like, for my own body. I don't know. So, yeah, 2 stress fractures.
When we talked to you last time, you had just been done giving a speech to the Crossroad kids, and you were telling them that high school basketball was, like, the best time of your life. Yeah. The best memories, the best all this. What was college basketball like for you, looking back overall?
College basketball was definitely really fun for me, but it's more like that's when you start to see more of the business side of things. Like, you know, this school has a legacy. This school they want to win. You know, people are paying thousands of dollars to watch the school play. It don't matter who you are. If you're not ready to play, they're not gonna play you. Like, that's just how it is. So that's when you start to see, like, okay, these could be my friends off the court, but at the end of the day, we all trying to fight for it. Playing time, and even bigger than that, we all trying to get drafted too. We all the same goal. So I love y'all boys, but you know, this is a business. So I got to do what I got to do to be the better player.
In college, you went to LSU, kind of stepping into some. I mean, size 16, but you're stepping into some pretty big shoes there at Shaq's alma mater. Yeah. When you go to that campus, when you go to Louisiana, like, how does that city or that campus, like, how do they see Shaq? Like, is he like the godfather there? Is he like Louisiana Jesus? Like, what is he to that campus?
Him being my dad kind of carried me through Louisiana. Like, it was like, man, everybody had a story. It'd be random places I go into, and people probably wouldn't even know I'm his son, but they'd be like, oh yeah, like, the last person I saw this tall was Shaq was in here 30 years ago or something like that. So, like, it was really cool hearing all the stories. And, like, there was even a lady who worked at LSU. She's like, this is how I know I'm getting old, because I was here when your dad was on his first year, and now I'm here on your first year. She's like, speaking of that, this is going to be my last year at LSU.
She saw you, she got to retire.
But it was cool hearing stories about him. But yeah, they loved him out there. You know, when the first game he came to watch me play, like, it started going crazy. And I want to say that was probably my best game that I had at LSU was the one he came to. But, you know, they even got a statue of him outside the practice facility. Got his jersey up there, got pictures of him everywhere. Like, he's a super big name in Louisiana. So
he's got the best statue in NBA history too, right outside of Staples.
Like Staples Center when it's fire.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you? I mean, you went to UCLA, you went to LSU. Do you remember from your college days the best night, not in terms of basketball, in terms of your life, the best night you ever had as a college kid? The most fun night you've ever had?
When I first got to UCLA, I didn't know they had this thing called the Undie Run. You ever heard of that?
No, what is that?
I want to say like midterms or finals.
Oh, I've seen it actually. Now I'm thinking about it.
All the kids meet up. You know, they pull up in their underwear. Girls have on their, you know, whatever Victoria's Secret, whatever. It's not a bad sight to see. But all the kids meet up and we run through the school in the middle of the night. And I'm not gonna lie, the first time I did that, I was like, yo, this is lit. Because then we go to parties after, and everybody's still just like, we're at the parties and everybody just in their underwear. It was really weird. I'm not gonna lie, it was intimate, but it was like,
yeah, it's very. Wait, is this an LSU thing?
Yeah, UCLA.
They do it.
I've seen it.
UCLA does it?
Yeah.
You've seen it?
Sure.
I've seen it. I've seen it on the internet.
You joined in?
Nah, I didn't go to
I'm
UCLA.
not gonna lie, the second year I had all my homies pull up.
Yeah, I'm sure. you told them about. They're like, okay,
I'm
bet.
I don't know if y'all go to the school or not. Undie run tonight at 11 p.m. We out, and then that's just what we used to just do. Just the undie run, but
Damn. What about LSU? Any fun nights there?
I tried to throw a birthday party that I couldn't get into. You know, I tried to throw like a little small party one time.
And you couldn't get into your own party?
What?
I'm gonna tell you what happened. So, we had a game this day, and it was my birthday was midnight. And I'm like, yo, if we don't win, I'm not throwing a party. That's crazy. So the close game we won. I'm in the locker room like after the coach is done talking, my teammates is like, yo, Reek, what we doing? I'm like, all right, let me make a little fake flyer on Snapchat and just send it to like, you know, there's a few people. I probably sent it to like 5 people. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll tell some girls. Like, so maybe like 15 people knew. I get a call, yo, bro, are you here? Where you at? I'm like, nah, I'm finna pull up in a second. Like, all right, I'm trying to find somewhere to go right now. And I'm like, okay, oh, it's probably lit in there. I get to this little complex. It's the most, I want to say, almost the whole school was like really thousands and thousands of people.
What?
Like this little, like they have, it's like a little gated thing and they have houses in there. I'm like, yo, this is bad.
You sent it to 5 people.
I sent it to 5. They sent it to whoever they sent it to, but that was the thing about like, you know, being in like Baton Rouge at a small college.
Yeah.
Like you tell one person, everybody gonna know. Like it's just how small it was. So I didn't know that I threw a birthday party. I couldn't even walk inside.
Wow.
I ended up, you know, my cousin had an F-150. I was just sitting on top of the F-150 outside in the parking lot, just talking to my team and just, oh, what's up, everybody? Like, why aren't you inside? I'm like, can't get in. Can't get in my own party. And then it ended up getting shut down. So
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Yeah, man. Baton Rouge. It's like that out there.
It's like that.
It's like that out there.
Party in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Wow. In 2022, you finished up your college career. You declared for the NBA draft.
Yeah.
You went undrafted. Then you made kind of like a initial decision where you said you wanted to go play professionally in Australia.
Yeah.
There's a story about a conversation that you may or may not had with your dad, Shaq, on a plane on Thanksgiving night is the rumor.
Yeah, it wasn't on Thanksgiving night, but it was that week. Like
That week, okay. Supposedly, after that flight, you would change your mind and then join the NBA G League. Was there a conversation?
I was just kind of done with college, not gonna lie. This was like, I want to go play pro somewhere else. You know, I know I'm not gonna get drafted. I already knew this before I declared. I was like, no, I'm not gonna get drafted, but I know I can get in that G League camp, you know, have a good game. I can get on the summer league team if I have good workouts. So I kind of trusted myself, and I knew I was gonna have good workouts because I knew what I could do. I went to the G League camp, got the only double-double that was in there. Did the summer league with the Lakers, and then Ignite picked me up. And then after Ignite is when I was going to go to Australia. So I already did 1 year G League. And then I was working out in the summer, and then some people from the NBL were, you know, trying to contact me, and they were talking some pretty good stuff. Like I'm like, Australia's not bad, but then I've never really even been out the country. I've only been to Mexico and Canada. So I'm not thinking Australia is on the whole other side of the world. So when my dad's talking to me, he's like, do you really want to go to Australia? I'm like, yeah, I really want to just like, you know, I was like, I want to leave America. Like these past few years of my life, like I don't know, I really like, I might as well just live my life now. Like I already just went through whatever I went through. And I was like, you know, shit's not working out over here. Like that's what I really thought.
Wow.
And then he's like, me and your mom talked about it. We're not letting you go to Australia. Like that's too far. Like,
damn.
Speaking to everything that happened, like the closest person to you is a whatever 16, 18-hour flight. He's like, we're not going for that. So then he's like, I have a proposal for you. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, so they're about to make me and Allen Iverson the president, co-president of Reebok. He's like, I know I always make fun of what you wear, but I really want you to help, like, rebrand Reebok. I want you to help with the shoes, the clothes, and, like, helping to sign players. And he's like, you can either live in Boston or Miami. He's like, if you do this, he's like, you can train all you want, but he's like, just do this for me. I'll get you a place to stay in either Boston or Miami. He's like, just work for me. And I was like, Miami? I'm like, send me to Miami. Miami than Australia. And the guy I trained with is also in Miami. So I spent a year working out and training, doing the stuff for Reebok, helping them. And then, now I'm here, back in the G League, but trying to get back up.
Wow. Yeah, that was actually where I wanted to go next, because, you never got the chance to play with your dad, but you got the chance to work with him. Yeah. And so I wanted to ask you, like, what was the Reebok thing like? Like, what, I know he was in charge of, like, that brand and, like, bringing athletes in and all that stuff. What was your role within that? And then what was it like working with your dad?
Yeah, it was, so my role with that, was kind of just coordinator a little bit. Like, I was, the younger culture they brought in. Like, Reebok, I had to do my research on Reebok, but I know, like, back then they were, up there with Jordan and Nike. It was like they were neck and neck with Jordan and Nike. So my dad's like, what kids like nowadays. You're the young generation. You wear the baggy ass pants. He's like, you like. And everyone in the office kind of looked at me for the first few weeks like, yo, what do we like? What do kids like? And I kind of was going in, finding all the brands and, telling them all the brands that people like, all the players, all the new players, all the high school kids that are coming up. So it was me and a few other people, but they had me traveling around and, meeting players and all that. And there's actually a big Netflix documentary that's going to be coming out about this whole thing. So people will be able to see, like, the behind the scenes of how we rebranded Reebok. But
wow.
They just kind of trusted me to just be the young culture and the young voice to, they really trusted me too. Like, when they were making the shoe, they're like, what shoes do you wear and what do you like in the shoes? Like, they really trusted me. So that's why I really liked that job. And working for my dad, he was on my ass a lot. One time I missed a flight. Oh my God. I still hear about it to this day. Like, one time I missed a flight and he knows he's my dad, so he can be a little harder on me like than he can on most people, but he just wants perfection. And that's why I kind of appreciate my dad on how he is and how he raised us, because, that's what we kind of shoot for is perfection. And we're known to work. He never really gave us anything. We're not really like a handout type of family. Like, he told me I was lucky that he didn't have me shoveling shit when I was. He's like, you lucky I didn't start you off doing this, because we met the owner of, like, the Walmart family. Yeah. And, like, the kid who owns Walmart from the Walmart family now, he's like, I started off, like, shoveling shit, like, to get this job. Like, my family owned Walmart and they made me go to this farm and shovel this. Then I had to work in, like, retail and I had to do all that. So my dad was like, I skipped you a lot of steps. Like, I really wanted to. I could have had you working in the Reebok store down the street if I really wanted you to do that. And I was like, shit, I appreciate you. But if you would have told me that, I would have just went to Australia. Wow. But yeah, like, it was just, it was real cool. I see why he doesn't sleep. Like, and why he does so much. He does all of it for us and to make sure his family's good. But, he's a workhorse. He does anything he can to make sure that, anything that's tied to his name is almost gold. So he has to hold up such a big name and legacy. He's like, I gotta make sure you guys are good. I gotta make sure all my siblings are good. My mama, like, everybody in my family. I do this just to make sure y'all's kids and y'all people can live good for the rest of your life. So he's like, I'm looking to retire one day. I gotta show all you guys the ropes on how to do this business stuff so I can go, move somewhere and go lay my feet up for the rest of my life. Say I'm tired of this.
But like when he says that, like, how does that make you feel? Like, is that something that you really want to get into, like the business side of things more?
For me right now, I know it'll probably change when I get older, but I wanted to get more into, like, fashion business and, like, just music stuff, video games, like stuff I actually like. And I still learned a lot of that there. Like, I got to work in fashion.
In the last year? Damn, so this is a big jump, big changes. Like, you're just being exposed to all this new stuff.
Kind of, basketball was still the main thing, but I just work out and then I just go, like, work with my dad. Like, there was a few months where I was, working out of the office in Florida, and I was in the button up and all that. Like,
that's awesome.
Stuff, so.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of NBA stars or NBA players sometimes, like, after the career is over, like, they don't really think about other things outside of basketball during their career. And then like I feel like you're being exposed to things at an early age.
Yeah.
And, you know, you like a lot of different things.
A lot of basketball players don't know what to do after they retire, but I'm not gonna lie, I wanna ever since I was like 15 or 16, every camp I go to, that's like the main thing they preach though. So that's something I've always remembered, that I can name a few camps where that's where they preach like, yo, after the NBA is like the hardest thing about being basketball.
Yeah.
Like one day you're got millions of dollars in contracts, you're spending it on jewelry, cars, houses, and then you retire one day and where'd all the shit go? You spent it all. So
because they're saying like this shit's not forever. You know?
It's really not. So everything could go so quick. Like I'll speak on this because it's funny now, but when NIL first came out, I was there. Like they had a meeting with us the year before NIL came out. It was like me and a few other people at LSU, and I was like, oh, we can start getting money. Like I didn't know it was gonna be like how it was though. So like when NIL started coming in for me, and I was seeing all these deals and all this money, like I was super money happy. Like I'm about to go buy it. Like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna get a chain. Like that's like doing anything. So when I decided to declare for the draft, and I'm like, oh, there's no more NIL coming in, and I had already did this. I'm like, damn, where'd all the bread go? Like, I'm not getting this shit else. Like, I left college. Like,
yeah, you earn everything yourself, man.
Yeah, that shit can leave fast though.
Yeah, I know. That's the life. Yeah.
There's probably so many college players who are tight about NIL and they didn't get a chance.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish I would have stayed just for that, but I mean, I really didn't like school like that. Like, I love learning, but I don't know. I just didn't feel right.
You've seen Shaq be a boss. It feels like he walks into a room and he's the boss. I don't even remember. I don't even know if his coaches were his bosses. You know, you've seen that. There was a time when at Reebok, when you know you were in a room and they were asking you and they're looking up to you for their next decisions. You were kind of a boss. So I'm curious. Do you think between you and your dad, who would make the better boss?
He would.
Yeah.
I always call him main character. Like that's his contact name on my phone. Main character.
You're
main character.
It's main character.
He's the main character. He for sure. Anywhere he goes, he's the main character. It makes sense too. You just gotta be around and be like, yeah, he's the main character.
He's Superman, so, right? So.
Yeah, so he would make the better boss. Like I know he'll listen to me on some things, but he's actually super, super smart. Like way smarter than most people would think he actually is. He's a very intelligent person. Like, he knows a lot about even like this simple light. Like he can probably break this down all the way. He just knows stuff that you wouldn't even expect him to know. So
the doctor.
Yeah,
he's a doctor.
Facts.
One of his crowning business accomplishments was the Shaquille pizza. It's an iconic thing. The Shaquille pizza. I gotta ask you, if there was such thing as a Shareef pizza, what would be on it?
A cheese pizza.
Just a cheese pizza.
Simple.
The Shareef. I swear to God, a simple cheese pizza. And so maybe a little bit extra cheese, but I just like cheese pizza though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite pizza spot?
Out here or just in general?
Let's do in general and out here.
In general?
Gotta be New York?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna lie. It's a place in New York that I had, and I still can't figure out the name, but I'm still marking that as my bet.
You're gonna hold it.
Yeah, I really don't know the name. I don't know where it was. I was like 13 though.
Dang.
And I just remember it, but I just can't find it.
You haven't been back?
No, I can't find it. I swear I went to the same spot to where I
Oh,
thought
damn.
it was, and it's not.
It's been 11 years. You've had pizza a lot in 11 years, and nothing's topped that.
I still don't put over that, but I can never find it. Like,
I'm
starting to think it was fake. Like,
Nah,
you
you must have been just so hungry
You're
that day.
you're gatekeeping.
Oh,
Nah, this ain't it.
I'm not gatekeeping. I didn't read the name. It looked like a regular pizza place. Like it was just the most basic pizza.
All right, Shareef, you can have that.
You
spot.
have it, you
It's all
got
right,
it.
man. Don't worry.
What about in LA?
In LA, I like Fresh Brothers. Not gonna lie.
Fresh Brothers. I've never been there.
Yeah, it's nice. It got little square slices.
Okay.
Joe's Pizza's good too.
Joe's is solid.
Joe's.
That's a big thing in New
Fresh
York
Brothers
too.
is solid. I like that. It's really good.
Shaq's talked about this a lot, about how he spent $1 million in a day, accidentally, right? What is it like shopping with your dad? Like, what's the average shopping trip with him, and then what's like the craziest thing he's ever done when you went shopping with him?
Like he's the type of person. He'll go into Best Buy. He's like, "Oh, I need to get an iPhone charger." It could be something as small as that, or I need one simple cord to plug in my USB or like whatever to this computer. and we'll leave with like 4 drones, a scooter,
You can't even use them
3
all.
computers, like a bunch of iPhones, and like it's just the little robot toys. Like he'll just leave with anything. Like he's like, oh, this phone, y'all know that phone that like opens up to like a tablet. Like
Yes.
he just likes gadgets like that. So he'll just buy it, open it one time, and then he'll just be like, I don't know how to use this shit. Like drones. Any drone he has, either get it broken the first 5 minutes he uses it, flying in the water. Like he breaks all his drones. He swears he can fly his drone. So it can turn into stuff like that, or it can be like, you know, one of those moments to where, like one time, he'd be like, you have no dress shoes? And I'm like, no, it's hard to find dress shoes. So, you know, he'll like go with me to the mall, try to find some dress shoes, and there'll be a whole bunch of kids, and, you know, he'll end up buying hundreds of pairs of shoes for kids. Like,
Wow.
or in the Apple store, if he's going to get a phone and there's like a kid or a family in there, he's getting 20 iPads, 20 computers, like phones, iPods, headphones. Like he's just going to give them the kids.
Just hooking it up.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm not lying. If you ever see my dad out and shopping, just don't ask him, but just kind of linger around a little bit. You might leave with a present. That's something he does, and especially around like the holidays. Like when he used to shop for us when we were kids in Christmas, like, you know, it was Christmas for every single kid in that store that day. So that's a really good thing about him. He always does give back, even if he's having the worst day. He'll be one like random person in the Verizon store, and they're gonna leave with the phone just because he's a cool dude like that, you know.
Yeah.
Or we're at dinner and he'll be like, make sure you put this table, that table, this table, like put them all on my tab, and like just don't even tell him nothing. So he's just super cool like that. So there's been times where he's bought crazy stuff, but it always starts with something simple, like let me go get candle, and then he's gonna leave with the whole Walmart store.
Bro, I can't even imagine how this is, you know, being around Shaq, dude. Like that's your father, bro.
It sounds like Christmas every day.
It's cool. He's just funny. Like he doesn't like. Well, now that we're older, like once you get older, the girls can get whatever they want. The boys, nah. Like it's come to the point now to where like, I mean, I don't ask him for nothing. Like sometimes I do it for fun. I'll be like, yeah, let me get that. Like sometimes it works, but nah, I usually just do everything myself now because he knows. Like once you turn 18 and you're a man, like get out the house. The girls can do whatever they want whenever, but the guys, like y'all gotta learn how to do it. So that's how we were. But my mom was like that too.
Your dad spent $1 million a day one time. What's the most you've ever spent in a day, and what did you spend it on?
I'm not gonna lie, mine's not as crazy as that, but there was a time, I think it's like this is around the NIL thing. Like I got a really nice check for something I did, and I was like, oh, I'll just save half and spend half. But like the spending half was still a lot of money. So I'd say the most I ever spent in a day, probably like just $15,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
A little cool.
Like,
Yeah, all right.
It was smooth. Like,
That's modest. That's smooth.
Yeah.
It wasn't too much I could do. Like, I don't know. It wasn't a lot I could do at that time. I just was like, let me just go buy what I want.
What you get with $15K?
I mean, I wasn't going to get a car. I just really wanted, like, clothes. That's all I really wanted.
Yeah.
So I was like, I could go on a nice little shopping spree. And, like,
Nice.
it was, I think that was a lucky day because there wasn't a lot of stuff I could find in my size. So I think if I was, like, you know, wore a size 11 or was a little smaller where I could fit and, like, go to these designer stores and get stuff, I could have easily spent more than that.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's just what me being limited to.
Yeah.
That's just all I had. So that's the most I ever spent. That was probably like 2 years ago. But
For now, that's light.
yeah,
That's funny.
good. I try to keep it.
I'm like picturing GTA. And
No, I wasn't just.
you're just like, whatever, yeah, let me get this.
I was like, I don't know. I just went into a few stores, whatever, and then I looked at how much I spent in a day. So like,
What was the best thing you got that day? What was the brand? What was the product?
I got some Balenciaga like windbreaker pants, real baggy.
Ooh.
I got those. They're smooth.
Yeah.
I might have wore those pants. And I
Yeah,
want some
you
white
might have
pants
because you were wearing
yeah.
some baggy pants. I remember.
Damn.
There were some white pants. I think those are the pants I had on actually. I bought those pants a lot. I bought some.
We have that on video. We know.
You have it on video?
We know.
Some
Yeah.
Zella shoes. I bought some Goyard stuff. I was buying a lot. Yeah, I was
Damn.
doing all right.
You were 6 months old when Shaq won his first title. You were 1 year old when he won his second. You were 2 when he won his third. And by the time he became a 4-time champion, you were becoming a first grader. So you went to school. What was school like when kids kind of knew, or maybe the kids didn't, but people knew that, you know, you were the son of an NBA legend? What was the best part about that? And then what was the worst part about that?
So fun fact, nobody knew who my parents were until I was about 14 or 15 years old.
Wow, they kept it that tight.
Really?
My mom was like, my dad would come pick us up from school. The teachers all knew, but
Yeah.
they never. I'm not lying. They never said nothing. My best friends at school, like they would know because
They knew. They came over. Yeah. And they didn't say anything?
Nobody said anything.
Wow.
Like, ever. Like none of those little kids when I lived in Miami or Phoenix or anything.
Yeah.
Like nobody. It really bothered me. My dad came to some of my games, but this is a time where people weren't putting like stuff on Baller's Life and all that.
Yeah,
So
social media wasn't as
global. So like if
Yeah.
whatever area we were in, like some people knew, but at school, especially when I moved here, when my dad was living elsewhere, and it was just us and my mom. Like I went to school with a lot of celebrities' kids, and I never told them until he finally showed up one day, and then that's when people found out. When people found out, they're like, "Why did he say that?" And I'm like,
Yeah. See,
I don't know, this is not how I am.
that's
So,
why you're not big headed at all,
like,
man. You're like
it
super
didn't
humble.
really I feel like it didn't really affect nothing. Like
That's what's up.
it's either gonna show me if you're a real friend or a fake friend when
Hell
I
yeah.
tell somebody. So
Mm.
that's why I never said anything. And see, I was like 14 or 15, and then a video came out on Hoop Mixtape. That's when everybody started to find out.
Bro, yes, exactly.
Yeah, like that's when everybody started to find out. That one random guy with a small camera who just showed it to the world. Like that was the day that everyone started to find out. So, but growing up in life, like not a lot of kids knew. Like, and we kind of kept it very separated from our
That's
school
cool.
life. And outside of school, it was very weird how my family did that and how we did it so well. But
Yeah.
nobody really knew. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like you just kind of went in time. Like you were just a young little kid, and all of a sudden, the next time people see you, you're just dunking
Yeah,
in
like
game
it's
on
like
everyone.
people are like, I feel like if people look back and be like, oh, I can see now. Like I was always the tallest kid. Just nobody ever knew like anything because my mom would be the one to come pick us up and take us off. Parent teacher conference. My mom, like we always kept like that side of life in school. Like 'cause I didn't know my parents. I think everybody was just learning how to deal with it. Like they didn't know if kids were gonna try to go after us or do anything. But
Yeah.
we never said nothing. Like
Nice.
we just cooling all day.
That is cool.
When was the first time you like started to get used to having a famous dad? Like when, like how long did it take? When did it happen? And what made it happen? Like what point were you just like, this is what it is, and I'm like, or was it always like that?
It was kind of always like that, but I didn't really realize it until it started to happen. The same stuff that happened to him was happening to me. And I'm like, oh, I see how, like, because, I don't know, I always knew he was famous. Every time we went somewhere, I knew people would chase him, knew all that. But when people started taking pictures with me and, telling me how much they appreciate him, like, just for them to talk to me about my dad, and, like, I could tell they were excited just to be able to tell me about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how I know he's, like, really, really, really big time, because I think people kind of meet me, and that's a piece in the meeting Shaq. Like they want to meet Shaq so bad they get to see me or my brothers. Like that's all they needed. And I can see how excited it makes people to talk about him with me. So I'm like, damn, like, he's really like a legend. Like people really love Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah,
Like, I see it.
that's interesting. You say that. You say that people want to talk to you because they're trying to get a piece of Shaq.
Yeah, like they feel like that's a connection to him. Like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, like this is son. Like let me just tell like how much I appreciate his dad and all that. And I get that a lot. Like people will take pictures of me, and of course they say Shaq's son.
Yeah.
I really don't care if they say Shaq's son or Shareef, but
Right.
I know I can tell like because I see that when people talk to me, they like always. I feel like I'm kind of talking to Shaq, but not
Yeah.
really. Like just,
Let's say Shaq wasn't your dad, and let's say you weren't a hooper. This is a different life. What do you think you would do for a living in that life?
I'm rapping.
Oh yeah.
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 I'm rapping and streaming video games.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Do you stream now?
Beats. Nah, I don't stream.
You don't stream?
I make beats though. I can't rap, but I don't.
You ever make beats for your dad?
I make like rap beats. He like I can DJ. I'm not gonna lie, I can DJ very well. He taught me how to DJ when I was a kid, but I just don't. I leave that up to him. But he has like the more like super bass trap stuff. But I like more stuff like Future,
Yeah.
all that type of music.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if I didn't have a famous dad and I didn't hoop, I probably want to be in music or video games, or honestly, I might just try a different sport.
Yeah. What would your rapper name be?
Lil Reef.
Lil Reef.
Yo.
Yeah.
She's hard.
Yeah, Lil Reef.
I still like Reef Boogie. I don't know. I still mess with Reef
Boogie.
Boogie.
Boogie sounds kind of old school though.
Yeah, it does.
Yo, is it true that you named one of your dad's boats free throw?
Nah, I just made that for it. That was for a TikTok. I ended up deleting it though, cause I'm not lying. Like sometimes I'll make little joke TikToks or videos, like not expecting them to blow up how they did, but like when I wake up the next morning, I see like Bleacher Report and like.
Bro, that's so clever.
I'm like, bro, let me delete it. It was a day, and that was during COVID, and I should have known that everybody's on their phones. Like, I want to say the first few hours, it probably had like 30 likes, and I woke up the next morning, it had like 1 million something. I was like, oh my. And my dad didn't see it. I was like, he's gonna beat my ass. So I just deleted it.
I don't know. That was some clever stuff, bro.
Nah, yeah, he didn't aim free throw. But
do people still roast him for his free throw shooting? Is that still a thing?
I mean, I still get it. There'll be times where I play, and I'll even make fun of it myself sometimes. Like, I want to say I was working out. We had to do a workout in Miami. A few friends of mine, and we had to like make like 2 free throws after we win the 2-on-2 game. And the first time my friend missed it, and I was like, come on, give the Shaq son to close the game out. Like, I did it, and I made both free throws. But like, it's just like it's gonna be like a lifelong joke for us.
Yeah,
it's fine though. Like when I went to one of my little sister's games, she missed a free throw, and I was like, "Damn, Shaq!" Like, it's just like we just joke on each other. So like, it's like a lifelong joke. Like, like everything.
There was a story about how like when he broke 28,000 points. And he called his dad about it. I think his dad like roasted him. He's like, "You would have had 5,000 more if you hit your free throws."
It's a lifelong joke. It's just, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I go to the free throw, I'm like, "Damn, if I miss it, somebody's gonna say something."
Yeah.
But I can shoot though.
I have a question actually, Shareef. Like, has your dad ever got you out of trouble with his celebrity status? Every good story.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes like. When I live in Louisiana, it's like a very country town. Like, when I got pulled over, you know, I'm not used to them making you get out the car. Like, here when you get pulled over in the car, like when I got pulled over in Louisiana the first time, they were talking on a thing like, step out of the car, like walk backwards.
Whoa. And
I called my mom like, yo, mom, like, it's my first time. Like, I've only been in Louisiana for a month. Like, I don't know what's happening. They're making me get out the car. I'm just gonna put my phone in my pocket. I'm walking the car like this. First chance I get, I was like, yo, officer, like, I'm Shaq's son. Like, I just said it. And he's like, oh, you just moved here, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, I met your old man a long time ago. He's like, sorry, I didn't know what was going on. I just like, and he let me go.
Wow.
Yo, that's crazy. That's funny.
So,
hey,
it works. Like, it worked like that. Like, I try to stay away from trouble. Like, I try to stay away from the BS that goes on in this world. But
for sure.
No, if I ever need to, like, we call it pulling the Shaq card. Like sometimes it works. I hate doing it, but you know, if it's like desperate, like sometimes if I need to get in somewhere, not that I need to get in anywhere, I'm quick to. If I can't get in somewhere, I'm just gonna turn around and go home. But like, sometimes I'll be like, yo, like.
Bro, why not? Shaq, your dad would probably be like, yeah, man, I worked so hard for that.
He earned this for you.
Most of the time, other people will pull the Shaq card for me though. Like, it'll be a random dude like, yo. This Shaq son, let him in. It works like that. I don't have to say that. That makes it a little cooler. Like that makes the people are like, oh shit, he's respected like that. Like,
okay. If someone does it for you,
if someone does it for me, or like not gonna lie, most places I go to, like if I ever want to go out or like even concerts or something like that, like usually the artist or a security or someone is automatically recognized and they just be like, yeah, I got you. Like I've showed up to plenty of places with no tickets or no nothing, just banked on pure Shaq card, and it's worked.
It's like you're good. Damn.
So I gotta keep it stuffed in my back pocket. I don't use it too much. I don't want to abuse it, but it works.
Damn, it works.
That's dope.
Well, hey, Shareef, thank you for joining us on At the Buzzer. Guys, if you like this, you want more episodes, you can subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, any platform where you're getting Clutch Points, you'll be able to get this content. We're excited because we're going to be animating some of these stories you told us. There's going to be a cartoon version of Shareef reenacting these stories. So we're excited for that, man. Shareef, thank you for joining us. Thank you for these stories, man. It was we're really excited about it.
Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
And also, Shareef, like if there is like ever in the future, if there is like a certain story that you do want to get out personally, you know, like let us know. You know.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. I'll definitely want to come back after I do a few years back in this basketball process. Every year is another story to tell. So
you're gonna be back on your grind, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys.